As a 5-year anniversary gift for Lisa, seeing as the suggested gift is wood, I got the idea to make a mobile. But instead of pictures, I would use hawk silhouettes made of exotic woods. Now you might recall the last time I tried to get my hands on some exotic woods. Firewood, for lack of a better term. But thankfully I found a seller on eBay with a selection that appeared to be exactly what I wanted, and it definitely did not disappoint. This is actually a nice selection of woods, and everything has been labeled. Holy cow. Purple heart, bloodwood, spalted maple. Very cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My initial plan was to just trace the hawk silhouettes onto the wood using some carbon paper. So I printed out all the hawk silhouettes, roughly cut each one of them out. Laid out all of my boards, and then decided which hawk I wanted to put on which piece of wood. Cut some carbon paper to fit the wood, and then just began tracing the hawk silhouette. But upon completing the first trace, it became apparent that I'm just going to lose too much detail this way. By the time I finished cutting it out by hand as well, they just wouldn't look as good as I would want. So in that case, it's laser time. So of course, with a full-powered laser like a Glowforge, I could just cut all of these on that, and they would look pristine. And while my little laser could potentially cut through this 1/4-inch material in maybe a week and would mostly be ash, it can at least engrave a perfect outline for me to then cut by hand on a scroll saw. And with each silhouette engraved on the boards, it's now just a matter of carefully cutting each one out on the scroll saw. But first I cut into a piece of hardboard to act as a zero clearance insert, and then I just clamp that onto the saw. One out of how many more? 9 more? Oh man, I wish I had a real laser cutter. But I can't complain. That is actually a much better result than I actually thought I'd be able to do. So that really didn't take too long. What, maybe 15 minutes? Let's get to the rest. The clamp for my zero clearance insert plate was actually getting in the way, so I secured it on with some double-sided tape instead, and that worked just fine. Finally, time to assemble the mobile, but first I need to remove the little alligator clips for attaching photos to it. And that's as easy as opening the little eyelet with some pliers and just taking it off. Deciding how I want to hang the birds, and then installing some very tiny little eyelets onto all the wood silhouettes. That's better, way better. Do I do that? I think some of those like that would be cool. That's not too bad. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's try and angle that one kind of like that. See, like, that's pretty cool. Maybe spot the big one Alright, now maybe the best part. I get to spray it with some shellac and really see what these woods look like. I think this thing is 1,000 times cooler than I was expecting it to be. I am so happy. Who needs a laser cutter? I do need shellac though. Please tell me I still have some. Spray glue, spray paint, brush on shellac. Well, I'm out of spray shellac, which is what I like. I do have a full bottle of Krylon clear glaze.
Finally, I wanted to make a little booklet with all of the wood identifications for which silhouette was made out of which wood. And I think I'll do a more in-depth video on this in the future, but this is a really cool and pretty easy way to make a really cool cardboard book. Basically, I have all of my pages printed on label stock, and I just cut them out and stick them on some thick cardboard, and having one sticker be 2 pages, the book basically just assembles itself. Here I had a white line in between my 2 pages, but instead of just scrapping it and printing a new label, I just went ahead and Sharpied it, and that worked fine. And just because I can, a final trim on a hydraulic cutter. I had hoped I could fit the mobile back in the box all assembled, but it just wasn't going to happen and the box would be too bulgy. So I ended up just taking all the birds off, putting the mobile frame back in the bag, and that way I was able to fit everything in the box without having to deform it. Finally, I just wanted to make one small modification to the cover art, and just change photo to hawk. Well, I am extremely happy with how great this came out. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And again, as much as I would love to one day have a real laser system, the fact that I did cut these out by hand and got the results I did does indeed make it feel quite a bit more special. But my sincere thank you for watching. Once again, I am Nicky Clements, if you're wondering. Nick is short for Nicholas, and the D stands for Debbie. Anyway, I'm off to make something else.